This man really wanted some insanely good cookies, but when he reached into the jar, there was nothing. Not even when he stuck his whole head in and looked around. So he pulled it back out and realized he had to bake them himself. First thing he did was break a plate. Then he looked at his list. It said he needed flour, twice. So he took both his hands and threw in 2 big handfuls. Next came baking soda, but since he didn't have any, he just poured in some cola because it works just as well, just like baking powder. Then he punched a hole in the wall and scraped the crumbled drywall into the bowl, nice and powdery for flavor. Then came sugar, so he dumped in everything he had. But when he got to salt, he realized he had already added some because both sugar and salt started with S. But whatever, he was throwing everything in anyway. Then came the chocolate. He used the one that had been sitting on the windowsill for 2 years, threw it all in. But he needed chunks, so he stuffed the bar into the sink shredder to break it up. Next, butter. He opened the drawer, but it slipped out of his hands and landed unwrapped straight into the bowl. Then he needed eggs, but the ones in the fridge were so moldy, they looked like they came from aliens. So he threw them away, grabbed a ladder, and climbed up to a bird's nest to steal some fresh ones. Almost done. Just needed vanilla. He grabbed it from the cupboard, but had no clue what teaspoons meant. And finally, water. But since he hadn't paid his water bill in years, he had no running water. So he took it from the toilet, poured it in, and mixed everything nicely. It looked delicious, so he wanted to taste it, but when he did, he blended his tongue off, but it tasted amazing. So he went ahead and made another batch. He shoved the cookies in the oven and sat down on the couch, but accidentally fell asleep. 3 days later, he woke up to a house full of smoke, ran to the oven, and saw it was on fire. He opened it, and it was filled with lava. He grabbed one of the cookies, but when he tried to let them cool, they were gone. So, like and subscribe.